Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Games That Define Us. I go by the name of Khleo Thomas, aka Mr. Slick Living.
Patrick Cloud.
I am the anomaly Will Pharaoh.
And we are the Arcade Tokens today with a special guest, our homeboy, the ride or die, the gamer himself, Brandon Broady. What is due, brother? How are you, man?
What it does was good to see my fellow Wakandan brothers out here just doing it all, doing it. I see y'all.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Games That Define Us is a show where all of us bring a game from either our childhoods or maybe even a more recent game that we feel helps define us as gamers. We will all bring one game to the table, and then we will get into a little survival of the fittest toward the end of the episode, a Hunger Games version of what we do here. You guys will check in on that a little bit later. But can I go first? Can I bring the game that defined me first?
Yeah, we always like to give an
Go.
example for the guests to see just how this works. So Cleo, hit us with the first game.
For sure, for sure. Game that defined me, man. I was in Vancouver, Canada, summer. My brother is out on summer break. I'm shooting this film called Walking Tall, and Final Fantasy is getting ready to drop another game. Now, it's not Final Fantasy 8 or 9. No, this is the first Final Fantasy game coming to the PS2, and that, ladies and gentlemen, was Final Fantasy X. This was such a big deal because we didn't know what we were getting. All we knew was more graphics, and a big draw for any Final Fantasy game is the graphics. And you always look forward to like the summons, because you know these monsters are gonna look crazy, like Remove, like Leviathan, like Ifrit. We were so excited to see what this game would look like. This, what we're seeing right now, is like the very first cutscene of the video game. As soon as you start off, that's our lead character, Tidus, who's playing in this. Huh?
His name is Tidus. That's the clown.
Or Titus, one of the two. You could choose. We never really hear them actually say the names. I call him
They
Tidus.
call him tight ass behind his back.
I'm positive that they wanted him to be Titus.
Right.
So this is the first cutscene, and they play this sport in this world, which is like a water version of soccer, pretty much. It's a really cool little mini game that you got to play throughout the entire game as you continue to go through it. This game also ended up launching a few sequels, which is the first time that has happened in any Final Fantasy series, because as you guys know, Final Fantasy VII has nothing to do with Final Fantasy VIII or 9 or anything else. But Final Fantasy X actually got a Final Fantasy X-2, which starred mostly the girls of the series. That was only their video game. So that was kind of fire to see them kind of try to take that step, at least like, yo, if we wanted to continue in that world, how would we do it? But it goes down in history as for sure one of the best. It's been remastered several times. It's been ported over to the PSP as well. And yeah, man, it's for sure a game that defined me. I would come home from set, and my brother Khadeem would be way stronger than me. They embedded a new upgrade system as far as your characters go. I loved it, man. So it's for sure one of the top ones for me.
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
No, go ahead, Pat.
I was just gonna say, do you think Final Fantasy would be more popular if they would have just stayed with Cloud and just stay? Well, I mean, obviously he was 7th, but if they would have just had one character that people liked and just kept doing it, do you think it would have been sort of like an easier like pill for people to swallow?
Maybe, Pat. That's a great theory, but I think, you know, with the success of Final Fantasy 7, man, it was just so unmatched. Like, I mean, here we are today, years later, the Final Fantasy remake comes out literally at the beginning of Corona quarantine, and people thought it was a rumor for years. But to say that would the franchise be more successful if they would have just stuck with Cloud and Sephiroth and Tifa and Barrett? Hey, man, I would have liked to seen that. I would have liked another Final Fantasy 7 immediate rollout. Why not? But that is a great theory, man, nonetheless. So that is a question, I think, for the fans, for all the gamers out there. Would you guys have wanted to see an immediate follow-up for Final Fantasy VII? It continuing to follow the story of what happened with Red 13 and Tifa and Aerith, even though we, spoiler alert, saddest death in gaming history, she dies. She dies. Just know.
Question: does all of the Final Fantasy take place on like one world? All of these are just in different parts of the world?
No, they don't even connect. There is nothing. There's no theory online. No Pixar theory where the movies connect. None of that.
That's so strange to me.
That would be. I think that would make this better if they like all were on the same world. Like I don't mind this being in different parts of the world, but I think if this was all in one world, this would kind of make things a little bit more interesting because then you could put little Easter eggs, little things from like the last versions in here, rather than this just being like based off of this is the Final Fantasy.
Okay.
It almost makes it so that you don't feel like you miss out because they're all different. It's not like you missed out on a chapter of Cloud's adventure or what Tifa was doing. It's just like completely different people that I wasn't really like attached to until I started playing, you know?
I feel by the time like Final Fantasy VIII came out, a lot of people who thought that it was a continuous story were actually like let down because they wanted to, have that Cloud like Red 13 experience once again. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like that's. Dude, because I mean, look at the numbers though. Look how many people got Final Fantasy VII remake. It's like we'd rather play the same damn game again.
That's true.
You know what I mean? Than another Final Fantasy. Like that was our Final Fantasy. Like I thought that should have been the last one. You know, anything else can be. Huh?
Yeah, you'll say that, but I can say too though, 10 is a lot of people 7 for them. I've heard a lot of people
I agree.
like
On his popping.
yeah, like 10 was their neck. Cause like I remember when 8 came out, I remember when 9 came out, and just to like what Broady said, people were so disappointed that it wasn't the sequel to 7, that it just really didn't get a big buzz. But I remember how much they were pushing this video game through the PlayStation magazines when the demo came out. Like that was like the next generation's Final Fantasy.
It was the first Final Fantasy to drop for the PS2 console, and everyone knows how great the PS2 console was. So Square Enix had to come with it. Look at this intro video, bro. Look how much money you think was spent on the graphics back then to sell this story right from the jump.
Solid.
Huh?
That's solid. Those are solid PS2 graphics.
Right, these dang near PS3 graphics. So just imagine, like you said, it's been remade. I don't doubt that somebody will try to campaign to have this remade for the PS4 and the PS5, just for the fact that 7 is. It was a dope story.
I'd be interested to see Final Fantasy 3 remade. So some of the Super Nintendos, like Super NES Final Fantasies, just with an overdrive of graphics like they did for Final Fantasy remake.
And people love those ones, bro. People love those classic ass old Final Fantasy games. There's something about those characters. I don't know what, but people love it.
What did it look like back then?
It was overhead.
Puzzles and stuff like
Pokemon.
that.
Think of like how the old Legend of Zeldas are, Pat.
Yeah, it was all overhead like a Pokemon game.
But then keep the battle system in mind of it being turn-based. So you had your team on the left, the team on the right, and it was all turn-based system. And yeah, man.
Who were the heroes?
Oh man, I wouldn't be able to tell you, but they all had their own versions of Cloud and Leon and.
Did you play through them?
I'm sorry.
Did you play through them?
I've only played through. I think I played through 6, maybe with Khadeem. 6 or 5. One of them was on the Super Nintendo, so we thought it'd be cool to kind of go back and check it out. But we, come on, after 7.
You begin as Lunith.
You went down.
And then you pick up some other homies. It's like they're orphans or something.
This when the Chickaroos was out.
Stop. They're called Chocobos. Stop
Chocobos,
disrespecting.
bro.
Well, I don't know who y'all talking about, but I see a Chickaroo here on this picture.
Why? Why do we even try with him?
Chickaroo.
No respect for the Chocobos, man.
Nah, you out here choking bows and stuff like that, man. I don't even understand what that mean, man. But them Chickaroos, I don't know why they keep calling us that.
That's
I need
crazy
a fun.
that continued, but the characters didn't.
The Moogles or Mogs go into every single universe, but not the characters, not the actual ones.
Yeah. Then how did these end up in Midgar?
Midgar.
There's no thing. There's no way of telling you, Bill. It doesn't exist.
I mean, it would do them a service if they did their next installment, like legit somehow tied in all the universes. You know, like you're part of you're part of one bigger timeline, and these are some. It's almost like they treat it like Zelda. Like there's various. The hero Link has been in generations and generations as the hero, right? And you do like one time the hero lived inside a cloud. Another time it was Tidus. Another time it was this Lunith or whatever. You know, and that's how you can.
I can see that.
Yeah.
You know, has everyone played and beat the Final Fantasy VII remake?
No.
No, I haven't beat it. I played it.
So I played and beat it. Spoiler alert's coming up. Wait, you said you have or have not?
I haven't beaten
Have
it.
not.
I have not beaten
Okay,
it.
so I won't say anything. Never mind.
Spoilies.
Never mind.
Right, man.
Thomas
Can't watch nothing, man.
I stopped. I stopped.
I notice it now, bro. You can't talk about nothing new with you or Khadeem.
Nope.
Be like,
Nope.
yo, y'all seen the new Deadpool 3? I'm just letting y'all know now, bro. Cable don't make it.
So and so
Not
died.
even shit, Qleo. But I saw it already. Like, give us some time. But we can't have Patrick's time. Like, taking 6 years to watch the first Avengers.
Oh.
Unforgivable.
Oh.
I watched the first Avengers right away. There's some things I don't wait on. I was late on
Broady,
it.
do you know what Harry Potter house you're in?
I'd probably like as much as I want to be in like Gryffindor, you know what I mean? Just, like I'd probably be in Slytherin, yo.
Also, you haven't taken the official test.
No, I haven't taken the official test. Should I do that?
You should.
You should do that.
You should do it live though.
I will do it live.
Do it live, brother.
Yeah.
If I'm a motherfucking Hufflepuff nigga, I'm killing myself on air.
Nah, Hufflepuff is the freaks.
You want Hufflepuff though, bro. Trust me.
For real?
Hufflepuff is the freaks. Ravenclaw is the nerds.
Ah.
Slytherin, of course, you know Slytherin gang, and Gryffindor.
Ravenclaw was the nerds.
They the Howard. They's the Harvard, Howard, whatever you want.
So what was Slytherin then? What like?
Y'all the trust fund babies. Like y'all know y'all good. Y'all don't be fucking with people. Y'all low key kind of racist too.
They're Republicans.
Yeah, y'all. Yeah, y'all.
So then maybe I want to be in Hufflepuff.
Hufflepuff
Want to be in Hufflepuff.
Yeah.
So should I like find the test and share my screen or some shit?
I
You
mean, yeah.
do it on your. It's on you.
Once we finish this, let's do a token reacts to Brody's house. We'll do that after.
love it.
But that was a great choice, Khleo, for
Thank you.
your game that defined you. Pat, since you let's not have you caught up like not seeing these movies. Let's have you go next.
All right, so hear me out.
Okay.
This game was for PlayStation 1. It was not very known. There was a sequel. Okay. You're pretty much a robot rabbit. And your name is Jumping Flash. Okay? So Jumping Flash it's like a platform game.
Looks like he's in a lot of pain.
But it's wild because it's first person. So you have this like picture like a one of those worlds on Mario. Oh, you guys haven't played Mario Galaxy, but like just picture like one of those like planets like King Kai's planet or something like that, and there's just nothing but clouds, and you basically have that entire thing, and you can super jump from a first person point of view. It's actually pretty interesting for back then. Obviously there was some ridiculous spacey storyline, but essentially the world was picked up in chunks, and you have to go from each one, and those are like the little planet things, and it's just like a 3D platformer, but it's first person, and you do like all these super jumps, and you have like all these ridiculous weapons, like these like I think they were like firecrackers that could shoot everything, or you can get like a supercharged carrot. And it was just ridiculous. But in terms of just like how wild it was, and how you could just like you were just in these cities that were in the sky, and you were able to like jump because he was a robot, and he had like these superchargers on his back, and like these like you had to get like collect all these jet pods. I forget
kind of a
his name.
platformer.
Yeah, it's a platformer, but the cool thing about it was that it was first person. So I wonder if there's any. Okay, so here's some gameplay footage. So yeah, you see how it's like a big ridiculous city in the sky, and you just have
hops, bro.
Yeah, I remember this game, Pat. You definitely have told me about this game before.
it was a lot of fun, and we used to just spend hours trying to find these dang carrots. But the cool thing is like in the early levels, you're just sort of like collecting stuff, but then as you go, there's like a whole bunch of bad guys, and then you get more weapons, and you get like these like rapid fire missiles and all these things. And it's just like for the time being, like, this was PlayStation 1. Like, we didn't really have anything else that looked like this. It was all like side scrollers or third person and stuff. So
now, was this game a gift, or like did you go out and buy it? Did you know about this game?
I think it was a gift because I was really young when this came out. But I got like both of them. I got because there's a Jumping Flash 2. This is a bonus level where you shoot balloons and stuff.
There's many times you get a game as a gift that like is like it turns out to be like a sleeper. You're like, yo, I thought my cousin didn't love me, and then they brought this masterpiece to me.
And it's like it was always interesting. Like, how did my parents know which games to get? Was it just like did they ask the people like, "What's cool?" I think that's what it was. Like a lot of times, the game keeper was like, "Man, yeah, Jumping Flash is really, really good. You know, it's one of those things." Like those people who are like super deep into gaming, like a Khadeem, who can tell you like the intricacies of a game that barely anybody have heard of on a mainstream level. But yeah, it's dope. You see how the worlds are set up, like the stages. He sort of like jumps from one to the other, and then the third is like a boss. But I mean, it was just cool. The fact that it was 3D, it was ridiculous. You were a robot rabbit. I was sold. It says, hang on, I just looked up some. It says you're a robotic rabbit named Robbit.
Robbit.
I like.
Can't call somebody Robbit.
And he searches for missing jet pods scattered by the game's astrophysicist antagonist character, Baron Aloha. Robbit must explore each section of Crater Planet to retrieve all the jet pods and stop Aloha and save the world from being destroyed. You know, great. Just a good old-fashioned video game plot.
Nice.
Makes no
Sounds
sense.
wholesome.
It's just the graphics are what kill me. It's just
PS1,
first
baby.
person. It's just I would let. And what console was this on?
PlayStation 1.
Wow.
And you know how nerve-wracking it is to do like these super jumps from their point of view? It's like a fall is a fall. You see, like if you miss something, you see that fall.
Yeah.
So you, the like timing it, and you know you're a kid. There's all types of colors. It looks like an acid trip. It was very clearly a lot of drugs involved in this as an adult. But yeah, it was just very nerve-wracking, especially when you got to the later levels and there were just all these huge jumps in the middle of the sky, and you had to get them perfectly, or you literally fall first person, which is different.
I mean, I like it. Like, it reminds me of like PC gaming and stuff like that.
Okay, look here,
You
go,
know.
boss.
Yeah, and like a lot of them like did make their way over to PlayStation and stuff like that. Like, I think it's cool for its time. Like, I think it's one of those like, you know, it's not much to really say about it. It's kind of like you say, cut and dry. What it is.
What you're looking at is what it is. You see, he's fighting a dragon.
I gotta see the cover art for this game, man. Like I think we're talking about games that how did our parents know to get those ones, right? Like I remember the Mega Man X cover is like grilled in my brain. Holy hell.
Mega
Like,
Man
this
X
looks
cover was
deep.
fire. Was he just in that?
Oh, and you got his little
man.
he was blasting. Yeah, you know it, bro. You
that
know
cover
it.
sticks in your mind because you were like, wait a second, is it Mega Man 10 or is it Mega Man X? And they were like, you know what? It's Mega Man X and 10 at the same time. So then Mega Man X became an actual character, like aside from just Mega Man,
Yes, sir.
because you have the whole X guys.
But
You
look
know?
forget all that. Look at this cover. I mean, you're a parent. You're looking to see what the new stuff is. You see a robot rabbit with hops. It got the jetpack on the back. It looks like it's jumping out of Greek mythology and into ancient pyramids.
Pat,
You know
I
the-
imagine your parents were like at the time they're like you and your brother. They're like, you know what, Pat, he's really into rabbits and your brother's into robots. You know, let's just get this, satisfy both of their needs. Do
It
you
just
remember being
looks
into
like-
rabbits at any point?
No, I was never like a huge rabbit fan. I like rabbits, but I never like had a rabbit. But
Yeah.
it was, I mean, look at that. You got the ancient Egypt, you got the blocks floating, you got the marble. This looks lit, and my parents were right. I love this game.
It looks like Jumpstart. It looks like something Jumpstart would have rolled out on some like. Hey, we want to be a little bit more edgier. Like, let's go try something in this
What's
area.
Jumpstart?
Jumpstart were like the PC games for. They were educational games for PC. It was like kindergarten through eighth grade or seventh grade, one of the two.
Ah.
It has like a learning vibe to it. Like I feel like I could learn. Like not that your parents made a bad decision at all, but it was like okay, they didn't know it wasn't an educational game.
Well, it looked like a cartoon. It looked like something like we watched on Saturday morning. So they're just like, oh, it looks like something that they watched and made a game of it. Let's grab it.
Yeah, that's true.
All
But
right.
yes, that is Jumping Flash.
All righty then. Well, Brody, you have seen two examples of how this game goes. Would
Got
you
it.
go ahead and begin? What is your game that defines you?
Oh man, I'd have to say Super Mario RPG: Legend of the Seven Stars, bro. That game blew me away, man. Because when I got it initially, I just thought I've always been a Mario fan, Nintendo fan, and I got this game just thinking, oh, I'm just going for my regular scheduled Nintendo Super Mario Brothers adventure. But this one is over the top. You know, it's kind of 3/4 view camera. It's an interesting style how they did it. Anyways, I play this game, and the first enemy I jump on, I don't kill this fool. I go into a separate battle and fight 3 of his homies. I'm like, hold on, there wasn't even 3 of them there. Where am I?
Is that the first RPG you've ever played?
It was the first RPG I ever played, and I didn't know it. You know, understand? So then I was like, I just thought, you know, you jump on a Goomba, they die. No, you have to go into a separate battle. So then I was like, all right, I think I can understand this. And then when they started hitting me with like, yo, my man, I need you to go take this milk to cuz in that 3rd house. I'm like, oh, it's kind of like Zelda a little bit too. Didn't know what an RPG was. Found out what role-playing game is. Anyways, it's awesome because it's not your usual Mario game. In this series, the first battle you fight is against Bowser, but immediately amidst that fight, a huge-ass sword, like you see in the cover art, huge-ass sword comes through the sky, breaks up the fight, does all sorts of wild shit, and then this dude rides down on the sword, and he's like, yo, I'm Smithy, and I run this now, bro. This your little Mushroom Kingdom, I run this. Bowser's like, nah, I run. He's like, flicks Bowser up into obscurity to the point, flicks Peach, everyone's just scattered around. So Mario, man, he goes on a mission to figure out how the hell to get back to this sword, because the bridge is torn, everything. He has to go around this whole roundabout way, but upon that journey, he visits like cool little islands. He goes to Moleville. He goes to where there's a bunch of moles. He goes to Yoshi Island where there's all the Yoshis live, and he's building a team. He's building a team of the Cloud people, Mallow. This dude named Gino, who was like a puppet that had magic. He picks up, dude. I'm talking.
Is really what's it called? They want him in Smash Bros.
They want him in Smash, and they're right, dude. Gino would be such an amazing Smash Brothers character. Like his moveset is already it's OP off break. Just thinking about what his moves were, they're OP. And with that being said, you can also, this is the first game where you got to be Princess Peach and Bowser. And let me tell you, Peach has hands, dog. Do not sleep on Peach. Like, if you want to know the origin of the frying pan in Smash Brothers, it's from this game right here. One of her strongest moves was the frying pan, and she would bash skulls with that. And you timed it right, like in the Paper Mario series, you do a double hit. So it was an interactive RPG where it's not so passive where you select a move and it does the move. You select the move, and then while they're doing the move, if you press the button at the right time, it strengthens your attack and kind of changes the attack a little bit.
Damn.
Khadeem, I saw Khadeem play this game, man, and I had no clue that they made an RPG game with Mario characters. I was like, for what? Why would they do that? Man, and after I saw Khadeem play it, I was like, okay, it's legit, bro. It's a legit RPG game.
And then I don't know if you could find a clip of this, man. This is the super nod of gaming. Like, this is like, oh, it's so awesome. One of the special fights, that the boss battles that you could fight, you have to like collect all types of random shit. I don't know what it was, but you go into this one door that's been closed the whole game, and you get to have this ultimate battle with this villain named Qlex, who's actually from Final Fantasy. So you have a straight up Final Fantasy demon. Doesn't look anything in the Mario universe. This scary demon looking thing. And the music that they play during that scene, I will never forget. It's just the most epic battle. And it was one of the hardest fights that I've ever fought in my history of video games. The hardest. Like, I'm talking about, this took like, when you talk about like just depleting everything in your everything in your inventory, all your Pokeballs, all your shit, everything's gone, bro. And you got and you just got Peach standing there with her. You can either take a hit or revive Mario, because Mario's dead, Bowser's dead. And you're like, yo, I'm talking, this was that game. If you could find, I don't know, can y'all find the Qlex fight?
Oh, it's coming up now.
The video, Qlex, man. The music in that scene was just epic. Like, I mean, this is how the game started off. You have your classic Bowser kidnap Peach. You're fighting, you're wrecking. I'm pretty sure the sword will come into this scene. Yeah, I didn't know what the hell I was doing when you jump into the game like this. This is the first battle, and you're like, what the hell is going on?
Yeah, give us 1 second. Oh, pardon
man, they might have to run this one back, man. This needs a remaster too, man. Why not?
Oh, I would love a remaster for this, especially like if they do on that Final Fantasy VII remake style and give it a new fighting convention where you can be active or passive like this. I think that would be an awesome mix, because also the cool thing about this game, it actually kind of showed you Mario has hands. Like, Mario wasn't punching before this game. You thought Super Mario 64 was the first time he was like throwing hands. No, he was throwing hands in this game. He was throwing hands. There's one move where you can legit put Bowser on top of your head and throw him, or you could throw, or no, excuse me, Bowser could throw Mario. One of his moves. It's a funny game too. So like all the Paper Mario games, if you look at like the writing in those games is actually like really funny, and I think they get like a whole separate American team to like kind of translate and keep the story going. But it has like really, you can tell it's like it has that taste of like American pop culture in the games.
Bless you.
Thank you.
Yeah, this is the Qlex battle. So you see how my man in that video, like he suited up before. And then Qlex gives you this little speech that's so dark and so like, I don't know what you guys make of it. I'm Qlex, Dark Knight of Vanda. I have crossed into this dimension to fight, but this world is uninhabitable for me and my kind. I must return. Before I go, though, I will challenge your strongest knight. Will you accept my challenge? You will enter combat? Yes. You choose yeah. On guard. And she said something like, I am matter, I am antimatter, or some weird, like...
The fact that Mario's weapons are like his real weapons, the red shell is the blue. I'm assuming there's a green shell. I'm assuming he has the star, right? The fireball.
So the red shell, yeah. So you get some of your weapons are like the hammer. You get the shell, the lazy shell, which this dude probably has, is the strongest weapon Mario can hold, just on a basic attack, not a magic attack. So his magic attacks are like his jump, his fireballs, which is fire flame, or like even the Smash Brothers super fire flamethrower thing that he does with a Smash Ball. That's from this, bro. That's from this. So if you had like all your charge, if you had all your your MP up, you could shoot out this super fire blast, and then his basic moves were like a hammer or the lazy shell, and so his hammer from Donkey Kong, a shell, he'd have a big ass. So his lazy shell was like a fat, you know those fat paratroopers, the super fat ones. He has one of their shells and he just kicks it. Then Peach got the frying pan. She also has the slap gloves. One of them, yeah, he's about to hit the lazy shell right now.
Boom.
So that joint's strong. So you have to first defeat these 4 crystals, and the crystals all have superpowers. Like one's like earth, wind, fire, whatever. And then after you defeat these 4 crystals that take a fucking minute, then you have to fight Qlex.
And that's the dude behind him.
Yeah, that's the dude. So, and I can't remember what Final Fantasy Qlex was, but this was Qlex was legit because this game was actually made by Square, who also made the Final Fantasy games. Right. And so they basically just were able to use one of their other characters and just throw it right into Super Mario RPG.
Oh, this is like literally the same.
This is literally one of the same bad guys from Final Fantasy that you get to like at the end of the game. After you've beaten the game, you have to come back to this one house. It's like this dojo that's closed. And it's like the ultimate fight. And I was telling Khleo and Will that this literally, Pat, was one of the hardest video game fights I've ever encountered in my fucking life. Like this probably took me at least a month and a half to beat. Like just keep coming back to it. Like you get so far in it. Like everyone will be dead. Everyone's down. You have all these items. Like he keeps reviving his people. This is a crazy fight, and the music is really good too.
Was this game popular?
Yeah, man. It was one of Super Nintendo's last releases. It came out in 1996, and of course, that's the same year that Nintendo 64 came out. So this was kind of like a farewell to Super Nintendo, but it was just so dope that it kind of held over that summer. Because if I'm not mistaken, I think. Nintendo 64 came out in like September of that year, and this was like the game that came out like I believe early summer, because I remember I got this as like maybe like a report card gift or something. Like it was something like I did good in school and like, here's your Super Mario RPG. But this was the game I was playing the whole summer, and it was just it's so dope, man. Like I'm telling you, and it actually if you guys have Nintendo Switch, they have it on the online on the Super Nintendo Online, so you can play this right now on your Switch, and it's like one of those games you could just save. And the cool thing about it, you can save a suspend point on Switch, so you don't have to like find actual save points in this game. But it's a great game, you know. I stand by this joint.
It looks dope, bro. Like I haven't like seen anything that I wouldn't want to try from this game. Like I really think I want to try this. I'm gonna see if it's in that super pack that they gave us on Switch that has like the regular Nintendo, like all the Super.
It is in that Super Nintendo thing. I'm pretty sure it is, yeah. Because and the other thing I do know that it is, if you get those Super Nintendo like those little small consoles, it's definitely on that.
I'll check this out, bro.
And this dude in the middle, Gino, that's the one they won in Smash. This nigga is he's unbelievable, bro. His powers and like how dope he would be in Smash, because he's straight up got all the magic, and he's like a puppet, or he's like a little doll that just like came to life at one point in the game.
Shit.
And he has hands.
I'll check this out. Like I've liked what I've seen so far. It's just even like with the old school like type of stuff. Like I think this would help people get into RPGs, like these type of games. It's simple, you know the character.
It is. It's like the way Pokemon is a good introductory game into RPGs. Super Mario RPG was definitely my introduction to RPGs. And so then by the time Pokemon came out, nigga, I was a Pokemon master before all these fools. You know, I already knew how to run it. I already knew, man, I need to stack up on some potions and stuff. You know, you already learned those things.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
Like that's the frying pan. So that's the frying pan from Smash that Peach was just using right there. So her Smash attack, well, you know, she pulls a tennis racket, a golf club, or a frying pan. Frying pan is from this game. Mario's Super Smash, his final Smash is from this game. I would even say some of his punches and stuff might be from this game, either this or Super Mario 64.
Definitely 64. His like 2-punch and then the kick.
Well, he has that move. If you time his punch move at the same time, he does like a 2-piece, you know, which is like an early. I want to say that combo that Mario has.
All right then.
I hear a lot of good things about this game.
Yeah. All right. Well, that was Brody's game that defined him. And I think that was a very good choice, man. Mario RPG. Like, you definitely sold two of us to want to go buy this game.
Yeah, man.
Well, we'll go play this game. Not buy.
Play it, yeah. Whatever.
Yeah.
If you it was actually very expensive. It was like $70 when it came out, and that was expensive on Super Nintendo. It was actually like an extra $10. Yeah, they flexed.
Nah.
I remember Toys R Us, bro. It was I remember vividly. It was a whole 10. This and Super Godzilla were the most expensive Super Nintendo games I ever bought. This one earned it though.
My mom was not playing that. You like, boy, you better go get some of that $30 bin and stop playing.
Yeah.
So, but yeah. So I of course mine is the last game for us to go. Not as epic as Mario RPG. Kind of on the same thing with Pat. Hear me out. All right. As we've said before, when it comes to the top fighting games, you got Street Fighter, you got your Tekken, you got your Mortal Kombat, you got your Soul Calibur. Then you start going into your B-class fighting games like Dead or Alive.
I love this intro.
You know what I'm saying? Like you have all of those. This is D-class. This is D-class.
Fantastic.
Fighting game, but this is when you go to Blockbuster and everything's out, but you gotta get something. So I went ahead and got, and I'm sure no one knows of this game, Bushido Blade. Bushido Blade was, again, not competing with no fighting games, but it was like, yo, scratch the weapons, scratch the powers. Swords, that's all. And they deadly as hell. That was the whole concept. And it was a fighting game. So I was like, you know what? I'm in. Let me give it a chance. Let me check it out. And during that time, this wasn't bad. You know what I'm saying? This is on the first PlayStation. We had a few characters to select from. And y'all went at it. Like one had the katana, you can get a saber, long sword, then chaku, the sledgehammer. Like these were your weapons of choice that you fought with. And
I thought he was about to fight that woman. That was just the woman who was there to hand them the weapon.
No, I think that was a fighter, if memory serves me correct.
All those weapons are Ninja Turtle joints.
No, correction. All of Ninja Turtle weapons are Bushido Blade joints.
Or samurai stuff.
Well, Bushido Blade, the game came after. Okay. Tomato.
This is based off of ancient warrior-like needs.
You're
so,
right.
yeah, like as you can see, like this was the main thing about it. You want to use your sword to defeat them. And so the base off of the sword you picked and the character that you went off of was how your combinations were put if you were going to be able to kick ass or not. And that's what I enjoyed about this game. Now, again, like I said, no comparisons when we're going to debate for debate. Won't be bringing this up. This is a game that defined me just because it was one of those, like, it had a lot of Chinese writing on it. So I was just like, all right, I'm going to take a chance because I see some swords on the cover and I wasn't disappointed. I am, however, disappointed on how long it has taken to get to the fighting scene of this load screen. Here we are. Some fights.
They used to give you time to talk shit to your opponent back in the day. A good healthy amount of time. Didn't load too fast.
Like commercial breaks.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm very familiar with this game, Will, and how you built up your introduction to this game is 100% right. After you went through Mortal Kombat's and Street Fighters, you were like, all right, well, what else can we play? And then you would play this for like 3 matches. That's it. And you would jump right off of it and go either right back to the original fighting games, or you jump into some story-based games. Like I literally played this at my partner's house.
Yeah.
What is this running to different?
So do you
Different
remember,
areas.
did you remember in Kill Bill? Pat, did you see Kill Bill?
Yeah.
You remember at the end when Uma Thurman and them were running with the swords to attack? It's to build up for you to throw a stronger blow. But that was one of the dope things about like these stages. You could run throughout your scene and be able to literally, it was a fight. So instead of it just being one stage where it just moved here and here, you could go throughout the stage fighting. You can get behind trees and stuff. It was literally a sword fight.
So it's like almost like a Power Stone, like an early. Okay.
It does look like Power Stone.
Like an early Power Stone kind of concepts.
Do you were running? You could stop anywhere and fight, or you ran to like certain areas to fight.
Certain areas to fight. I don't know. I can't remember if it was like you stop right there, but it was like, yo, it'll take you throughout the stage. I want to say you can fight anywhere though. Here,
It looks
like,
dope running through the forest. That's lit.
yeah. So it's like just like here, you could just be able to move around like rolls and stuff like that. Like it was dope, but like Khleo said, for like 2 or 3 matches, and then after that, you just kind of like, man, all right, bro, put him on the combat.
Damn, that's it looks tight. I fuck with it. I like this dude with the trench coat.
But then what's the other fighting game that's mostly weapons? And I Soul Calibur, the other one.
Dead or Alive?
No, some Battle Arena Toshinden.
Oh, I know exactly.
Yeah, Battle Arena Toshinden is that's I love that game.
Yeah.
That was PlayStation classic.
Yeah.
Now I will say though, contrary to popular belief, this would be a great remake right now. Especially with the way controllers are set up, and as far as like people are really like, especially like with the Sekiro, Ghost of Tsushima craze going on. Imagine being able to fight, but like straight like as a swordsman. So it's like, yo, you can't just be pressing buttons and stuff like that because they'll slice you over.
That rush even reminds me of like Dragon Ball Fighters, how you can do those rush moves.
Yeah.
Like really like close the distance. And the fact that like the landscapes are so big in the Dragon Ball Z fighters.
Right.
Yeah.
Running told me though. I ain't never seen nothing like that in the
Not
fight.
like that, yeah.
Took off top.
Yeah.
The Naruto run off break.
And just and then you in the woods, bro. And that's what I liked about it.
Do they have any special abilities, or it's just straight sword fighting?
It's sword fighting, and then compared with the player that you pick. So it's like this dude, he's better with a katana, and then like the broadsword, and another
like
people
Gambit.
like, huh?
Looks like a Mexican gambit.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
But I loved it, bro. It was just straight like it was swords, bro. Like go hand to hand, like well not hand to hand, go blade for blade. You could run, you could jump down into stuff into different levels. Like this was cool. This was like a fight scene in a movie that you could low key kind of create yourself with swords.
And they did their best with the cinematography in this game too. They were trying. They was trying their best.
I would not mind this being like added to like Ghost of Tsushima as like an online multiplayer play. Like y'all, like just imagine on that.
My man got a gun.
The white dude got a pistol and just got laid out.
Dang.
Pow.
Is this like training mode or something? They're teaching you like don't use a gun,
Pow.
kids.
Sliced him. Oh,
On the
man.
helipad too.
This is
Come
like
on.
the campaign mode and stuff.
Yeah, he didn't get back up.
Outside assassin.
Slapped his ass.
He must have hired you pretty cowardly using a gun. That was that whole thing. No weapons.
Yeah.
Just
That person has a okay.
The staff
The
with the
staff.
blades at the end.
That
Oh,
seems unfair.
Nah, you got to know how to use it. That's the thing, because you can sidestep, cut somebody, and that's it.
I give them credit for the fact that they put footprints in the sand. They didn't even have to do that. They didn't have to do that. Look at the footprint game.
Early.
These dudes are leaving footprints behind.
Hey man,
Great.
That's a game developers, man. Y'all,
I'd give that to that developer.
yeah,
They
man.
catch a lot of heat in our generation, like they do. They be catching a lot of heat online for stupid little small things. They're like, yo, you're wasting our time. We hurry up, we want the sequel. But come on, even way back then, that small decision to to put the footprints in there. You appreciated that, bro. That's dope.
I'm telling you, man, because you look at like what the processing speed on these games were and what man, I can't tell you like, we've all played Super Mario 64, and it's just so funny when you go up against something that's like it looks like it's 3D, but it's just flat. Like they just like got lazy.
Yeah.
Or like the way certain trees look in Zelda or something.
It's like, yo, man, you could have done better on the mountains, bro. Like, come on.
Yeah.
The snow could have drifted a little.
You can see people's work. You almost want to be like, hey, man, I just out of curiosity, who did them motherfucking trees in Zelda? Like who did the trees on Ocarina of Time?
Like, it's cool, man, but this cloud work up here is really shabby.
I like what y'all did to the castle. Hyrule Castle, fantastic. But whoever's job it was to work on the goddamn forest, the Lost Woods, I mean, y'all.
That's how Grand Theft Auto 4 was. Man, these cars is dope, but y'all sure forgot to do a dope story.
Oh, low blow, Will, low blow.
I'm just saying.
He's
Well,
right.
hey, speaking of low blows, we probably about to be giving some definitely crotch shots in this next segment.
Yeah.
So,
I'll bring it in.
if you're not aware, we have a segment at the end of this show, as always, which is called Play, Download, Delete, and Obliterate. It's kind of like F, Marry, Kill. So play out of the 4 that you selected, you will pick which one you would play right now, or as soon as you get off of here, which one you would download, add to the library, and try out of these 4. Which one would you delete that just didn't really, catch your vibe or anything, and then obliterate one that you absolutely cannot stand and it needs to get out of here. And by that also, Thanos snap, wipe everything in its existence game-wise.
I'll go first. Not gonna lie, I think I'd play Bushido Blade. The running through the forest with a sword is very cool, and it's very on brand with me. I've also never seen a fighter do that. I'm gonna download Super Mario RPG. Looked interesting. I heard a lot of good stuff about that game. I feel like Mario just flexes and just jumps into other stuff. Like, I wonder if I could do racing. Best racing game of all time, Mario Kart. I wonder if I could do this. I wonder if I could do this. So I have no doubt that this is a cool game because I actually
use an early Kanye.
No, don't do that.
And we don't know what Mario is like behind doors.
I don't.
He got the baddest chick in the Mushroom Kingdom. He got Peach. He has his Kim K.
I don't like that comparison at all.
We gotta assume Mario's a narcissist, though. He puts his name in everything.
Royalties.
Like, toad slavery was a choice, right?
Okay.
All right.
Download Super Mario RPG. I'm deleting Final Fantasy. Can't even lie. If they just dropped 7 and then nothing else, that'd have been fine. That'd have been cool. And then I'm obliterating Jumping Flash. Didn't need it. Very fun game. Of all of these, didn't need it.
Bowser doesn't like Shy Guys.
All right.
Who's next?
I'll go next. I'm going to play Super Mario RPG. I'm going to download Final Fantasy X. I'm going to delete Bushido Blade, and I am going to obliterate Jumping Flash. There's no way in hell I could enjoy that game. I just can't. I look at the gameplay, and I'm like, how? How is this fun? It's not connecting to me. But Pat had hours and hours of playthrough with this game. He co-signs it. I'm pretty sure, like he said, he brought it to games that define us, so it's part of his childhood. I get it.
All right, Broady?
So I'm going to play Final Fantasy X. I've never played it, and I'd like to just be disappointed. You know what I mean? Because Final Fantasy VII is so great that I need to know why they had to make a 7 remake. Why was 7 the crux of Final Fantasies? And so this may teach me that. I'm going to download Jumping Flash. It seems interesting. I've never played it before, and it's like, let me try my hand. I like the fact that it kind of reminds me of Star Fox a little bit, It seems just that random, and then the colors, man, the colors, Duke, the colors. That shit is a fantastic thing to blaze to. Just blaze and play jumping flash. Come on, it just sounds like a good night of toking. All right, I'm going to delete Super Mario RPG only because I've played it, I've done it, I've completed it, I've got my black belt, I beat Qlex in that dojo. I don't ever need to go back to that game if I don't want to. You know, the fact that I can tell you guys about Qlex fight. Real Super Mario RPG people know like how far you really got if you could talk about that Qlex fight. And then I'm gonna have to obliterate Bushido Blade only because I don't think it's gonna give me enough of what I need in a fighting game. I get the sword play, I get the running, but I need someone needs to throw a Hadouken. One of them niggas needs to charge up for just a few more seconds and they can throw some matter at somebody.
Throw a sword or something.
You're the reason Dragon Ball GT got made. People like you.
I didn't mind GT.
You mean Dragon Ball Good Times?
Ha, nice.
You mean Dragon Ball gutter trash?
I still can't believe that Super Mario RPG, like Super Mario and Final Fantasy, had any type of crossover. Like that just makes me mad.
And that lets you know because Square. So that lets you know how good that game is. Because Square was like, "Oh, y'all make an RPG? Hold on, let me help y'all out with this."
I'm really gonna play that game. Like I'm not BSing. Like that game is getting played. Well, I guess I'm up. So I would, as I just said, play it. So I'm gonna play Super Mario RPG. I'm gonna download Final Fantasy X just because I do want to give it the run and see what it's all about. I am gonna delete Bushido Blade. It didn't push the needle for anything. Like I said, it's just one of those like, definitely did me good for the weekend. Jumping Flash is just, it got to get obliterated, but not because I didn't like it or anything. Just out of these choices, it's just like, you see it, Pat.
Rabbit.
And plus, there were hella other rabbit games you could play. Out of all the rabbits, this wasn't like the dopest rabbit.
Are there rabbit games?
Yeah.
There's one with a gun for sure.
With Mario? I didn't play that game.
No, I don't know with Mario. I'm just saying,
I have Mario Rabbids. It's just a strategy. It's like Advance Wars. It's like one of those.
Literally called rabbits.
Dastardly rabbits. But thank you once again, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us on another episode of Games That Define Us. We would like to thank our guest Brandon Broady for.
Thank you guys. Thank you guys. For,
yes, indeed.
My bad, bro.
Very great choice of a selection of games today. All deep cuts, and we love these type of episodes. Really shows why games are defining. As always, we have been the Arcade Tokens. I am the Anomaly Will Pharaoh.
Khleo Thomas, aka Mr. Slick Living.
I'm Patrick Cloud.
And we will catch you next time.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Don't leave.